Welcome back to Reds Fusion LFC, your home for all the breaking Liverpool news, transfer drama, and inside scoops. Today we've got huge updates. Marc Guehi opens up on his failed $35 million Liverpool move. Hugo Ekitike's injury sparks fresh Chelsea versus Liverpool battle. Sir Kenny Dalglish drops big advice for Florian Wirtz, and a massive Salah blow could see him miss 10 games. Plus the latest twist in Man United's failed signing saga that even links back to Liverpool. Stay locked in. This one's unmissable. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Marc Guehi opens up on what happened after failed 35-meter Liverpool transfer crystal. Palace and England defender Marc Guehi has revealed his reaction to 35-meter move to Liverpool falling through last month. Marc Guehi has opened up on his failed move from Crystal Palace to Liverpool last month. The Reds had agreed a $35 million fee to sign Guehi and bolster their centre-back options on transfer deadline day, only for the deal to collapse after Palace were unable to recruit a suitable replacement in time. Guehi has continued to impress with the Londoners and was a star performer in their 2-1 home Premier League win over Liverpool last weekend that ensured a club record 18th game unbeaten. And when told the switch from business to usual after his transfer disappointment had appeared seamless, Guehi replied, "Because it was. The sun goes up, the sun comes down. Life goes on. That's my mindset. And if you adopt that mindset in most things, you just get on with life and move on." Fortunately for me, I'm at a football club that has helped me and given me so much, so it does make it that much easier. Asked by TNT Sports what helped him cope with the situation, Guehi added, "Having my family there the whole time, friends, people that have always been there for me, and then the football club. People that you come in to work with every single day, staff, teammates, they are always there. So when they're joking and laughing and smiling, it just makes it easy, to be honest. It's been really, really good in that sense." Guehi will be available on a free transfer at the end of the season. With Liverpool still interested in the 25-year-old England international, and while the Reds have a policy of preferring not to sign players for a fee just months before they can be snapped up for nothing, they could consider a move in January for Guehi after the season-ending ACL injury suffered by teenage centre-back Giovanni Leone last week. Hugo Ekitike injury latest as major Liverpool hint dropped for Chelsea. Liverpool are hopeful Hugo Ekitike will be available for Saturday's Premier League clash at Chelsea after being forced off against Galatasaray. Hugo Ekitike could be available for Liverpool's showdown at Chelsea this weekend after being named in France's squad for their forthcoming internationals. Ekitike, who made his debut for his country's senior side last month, is in a 23-man party for the World Cup. Qualifiers at home to Azerbaijan and away at Iceland next week. Ekitike had prompted concern when he injured himself stretching for possession midway through the second half of Liverpool's 1-0 Champions League defeat at Galatasaray on Tuesday evening. The 23-year-old striker underwent lengthy treatment on the field before being replaced by Alexis Mac Allister. While Liverpool boss Arne Slot was cautious over the severity of the problem, it is understood the player believed after the game he only suffered from cramp and had avoided a serious issue, and that Ekitike has been given another call-up by France. Head coach Didier Deschamps suggests the striker, who has 5 goals in 9 games since arriving in a $79 million deal from Eintracht Frankfurt, has a chance of being considered for Saturday's Premier League trip to Chelsea as Liverpool look to avoid a third successive defeat inside a week. The Reds are already without Alisson Becker, who has undergone scans on a hamstring problem sustained in Istanbul that could sideline him for an extended period, and teenage centre-back Giovanni Leone, who is out for the season, having this week had an operation to repair ACL damage. Slot, though, is hopeful Federico Chiesa is back after stating the Italian missed out in midweek due to a minor knock. Kenny Dalglish tells Florian Wirtz the one thing he needs to do at Liverpool now. Florian Wirtz has yet to score a goal or provide an assist for Liverpool in the Premier League this season. With the German midfielder struggling to adapt, at Anfield Kenny Dalglish says that Florian Wirtz needs to form a strong partnership with Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike to succeed at Anfield. The 22-year-old joined the Reds this summer in a then-club record transfer from Bayer Leverkusen for $116 million, however. After 6 appearances in the Premier League, he has yet to justify his hefty price tag, failing to score or assist in the top flight. Last season, the attacking midfielder excelled in Germany, netting 16 goals and providing 15 assists. But his struggle to connect with his new Liverpool teammates has led many football fans and pundits to question just when he will deliver a return on the hefty investment. While some believe Wirtz simply needs time to adjust, Dalglish has offered his insight into what the player needs to do to find his feet in Arne Slot's side. Speaking on the Stick to Football podcast, the legendary former forward and manager, who scored 170 goals for Liverpool in 511 appearances between 1977 and 1990, said, "The first thing he needs to do is what he's doing at the moment. He's great at taking the ball into the feet. He'll open himself up and the pass has beat you, but he's still got control of it. Or he'll take it the other way back past you to go that way and you're going this way. He can see what's in front of him, and once he gets it, I saw Hijack the other day, the second half when he came on, I think, and he's talking to one of the boys about his movement, what he would do. And the boy is sitting and listening to him, and once they get on the same wavelength, by the way, that wee fella, he could open a can of soup." When Dalglish was asked about how quickly it took him to develop a similar understanding with Ian Rush during his playing career, considering their remarkable partnership in the 1980s, he responded, "It could happen right away. For Rushy, it was training for us. We did it in training, so that's where you learn it first, isn't it? I told him, 'Rushy, if there's a space there, just leave it. I'll play it and you go for it.'" Simple. It comes after Jamie Carragher's recent brutal critique of Wirtz, as the pundit scrutinized Wirtz's start to life at Liverpool. After the 1-0 Champions League defeat to Galatasaray on Tuesday night, he told CBS Sports, "I'm not watching a top team. Liverpool are not playing football, they are playing basketball. And I told Arne Slot this on the first game of the season against Bournemouth. They obviously have a fantastic manager. Liverpool last season were a top team, but also a workmanlike team, which they've sprinkled a bit of stardust on in terms of the transfers they have brought in. And they haven't gained anything going forward, but they've lost a lot defensively. I think for the manager now, he now needs to really earn his money. He did last season by winning the Premier League, but there are few problems he has got to fix. It will be really interesting how he does about it because he spent a lot of money on certain players. Right now, the balance of the team is not right, and the obvious one that stands out is Florian Wirtz, who is just not at the races at all. He's a young boy, coming to a new league and has plenty of time to go. But right now, he needs to come out of the team, Liverpool go back to what they were last season, and try to build some confidence and some stability. Right now, it looks like a mess. Wirtz will be hoping to make his mark when Liverpool head to Stamford Bridge to face Chelsea on Saturday evening, following consecutive defeats to Crystal Palace and Galatasaray. While the Reds currently sit 2 points clear of Arsenal at the summit of the Premier League table, they'll need to turn fortunes around quick if they're to successfully defend their crown. Mohamed Salah could miss 10 Liverpool matches as Arne Slot faces selection dilemma against Galatasaray this week. Liverpool saw a glimpse of what life could look like later this year when Mohamed Salah jets off to play for Egypt at AFCON in Morocco. Arne Slot knew, after Liverpool lost to PSG and Newcastle United in quick succession last season, that he needed more depth. The Reds boss injected more quality into his roster over the summer, and he made use of it midweek. As Liverpool lost 1-0 to Galatasaray, Slot made changes. Mohamed Salah was dropped to the bench, something that would have been unthinkable last season. And Alexander Isak was on the sidelines too. While Liverpool lost, and that certainly wasn't part of the plan, it did offer an insight into how things might look this year. Slot wants to challenge on all fronts, and that might mean more rotation to keep everyone fresh. Life without Salah, on the admittedly limited evidence of Tuesday's game in Istanbul, did not look great, however. Liverpool was disjointed, though it should be added that the Egyptian was on the field against Crystal Palace a few days earlier, and that looked exactly the same. Later this year, with the African Cup of Nations, AFCON, coming up, playing without its talisman will have to be something that Liverpool gets used to, and, of course, beyond the next couple of seasons, for which he is contracted, There is also the wider question of how the Reds eventually move on from him. One step at a time, though, and looking ahead to AFCON, which starts on December 21st this year, Salah is likely to miss home Premier League games versus Wolves and Leeds games and visits to Tottenham, Fulham, and Arsenal. That game at the Emirates could be particularly important in the context of the title race. If Egypt goes deep into the tournament, Salah might also end up missing games with Burnley and Marseille and a potential Carabao Cup semi-final. He would be unlikely to feature in the FA Cup third round, but that falls early in 2026 as well. If the bad news is that Jeremy Frimpong didn't leave much in the way of an impression against Galatasaray in Salah's place, then the good news is that there are still a couple of months to work things out. By that point, Florian Wirtz should be used to the demands of English soccer, and Isak will be up to speed. If Frimpong or Connor Bradley can nail down the right-back spot, that might free up Dominik Szoboszlai too. Salah leaving for a period is not news to Liverpool, and it will have an idea of how to combat it. If there are more experiments before AFCON kicks off, though, it will hope they look a little better than it did at Galatasaray. Man UTD's failed signings and how they're doing now. 100-minute star to Liverpool hijack attempt Manchester United. His summer transfer business has been the subject of much debate as their struggles continue, with Ruben Amorim having missed out on several key targets. As Manchester United's early season struggles persist, manager Ruben Amorim has come under fire for his tactical decisions and team selections. Amorim's biggest critics have questioned whether his squad is suited to the 3-4-2-1 formation that the Portuguese boss insists on using. That has resulted in 3 losses in 6 Premier League matches and an early exit from the Carabao Cup to Grimsby Town. Yet, questions also linger about United's summer recruitment strategy, particularly whether the Red Devils' spending of over $200 million on 6 new players was wise. Ineos missed out on several key targets before bringing in Matheus Cunha, Brian Mbeumo, and Benjamin Sesko. And we now turn our attention to 3 high-profile players that Amorim failed to sign and how they've fared since their Old Trafford move failed. Liverpool pipping Newcastle to the 79-minute transfer of Hugo Ekitike from Eintracht Frankfurt received plenty of attention. But the Anfield club also managed to thwart an attempt by their fierce rivals, Manchester United, to swoop in for the striker at the 11th hour. The Athletic reported that those in power at Old Trafford tried to stun Liverpool by making a late bid for the Frenchman during the transfer window. However, by that point, Ekitike had already committed his future to the reigning Premier League champions. Since then, United have been left to rue Ekitike's decision, as the forward has wasted no time in settling into English football. He's managed to bag 5 goals in 9 appearances while impressing with his overall link-up play, after failing to bring in other forward options like Victor Gyökeres and Liam Delap. Amorim eventually signed Sesko for an initial 66.3 million, but the Slovenian has struggled, scoring just 1 goal so far. The Aston Villa goalkeeper was rumored to be on the verge of a deadline day move to Old Trafford following a series of blunders from United keepers Altay Bayindir and Andre Onana at the start of the season. Martinez even appeared to have said his Villa goodbyes and was dropped by Unai Emery. But despite showing interest in the Argentine shot-stopper, the Red Devils decided to sign Royal Antwerp's Senne Lammens for 18.2 million instead. That was due to Lammens' younger age profile. Lower wages and the hefty 40-million Villa were demanding for their aging World Cup winner. Since his desired move to United fell through, Martinez has been back between the sticks for the Villains, starting all 3 Premier League fixtures but only managing 1 clean sheet, with his side struggling for results. Bizarrely, Lammens has not played a game yet for United, with the error-prone Bayindir being preferred by Amorim. Carlos Baleba central midfield has long been viewed as a problematic position in United's squad, and Brighton's 21-year-old starlet Carlos Baleba was identified as an upgrade in early August. Despite reports of United intermediaries making contact with the Seagulls over a potential deal, Brighton chief Paul Barber denied those claims and dismissed the transfer links as speculation. Brighton had reportedly demanded over $100 million for the Cameroonian, who they wanted to keep for another year at least. That valuation proved too steep for United to meet as their interest eventually faded. The dynamic midfielder has continued as a regular starter for Brighton, featuring in 8 matches across all competitions, though he has yet to play a complete 90 minutes or contribute a goal or assist. Having been among their most reliable performers last campaign, his showings haven't been as impressive this season, with the player appearing to be going through the motions. Fabian Hürzeler admitted after the 2-2 draw with Tottenham that Baleba is still not 100% physically. "Everyone has to understand with Carlos, he's a very young player," the Brighton head coach said. "He's not a machine. He needs help from us. He tried everything today. He only had 45 minutes in his body, and it's something that we have to accept." Hürzeler also spoke about whether transfer speculation has affected the Cameroon international. "It's all a lot of theory," he said. "We can only guess. For sure, when a young boy reads that there's interest from Manchester United with a big offer, it might affect him deep. Even if he's not saying, 'It affects me,' maybe deep inside of him there is something that affects him.